So welcome back to PowerShell Titans again, and then let's go through what all the things we have seen in the last session. So we have started about the PowerShell scripting, and then we have seen what is the difference between the scripting language and the programming language. The scripting language is just the list of commandlets with some logics, and when we say logics, it can be result, some kind of comparison, some kind of booleans like a true or false, all those things. So based on that, or it can be a loop, all those things. Based on that, it will be the script will be doing some kind of meaningful objectives. So that is what a script is all about, and PowerShell script. And as we say, all these logics, whatever we are talking, right? It is something just comes at the end, just either true or false. For an example, it will be some conditions, or lots of conditions added together at the end. If the conditions is true, go ahead and do and execute a block of script, and whenever the block of script we are mentioning, we will be mentioning in a curly braces. And if something is not true or something else, then go on and execute another part of it. So it's just like if the green signal is there in the traffic, go ahead and then drive ahead. And if there is a red signal, stop. So that is how we take the decision in the real life, right? So that's exactly the same thing. And I also said, do we need to know each and everything in in the dictionary? We will have 100% words. Do we take all of them and then do we use it? No, we only talk 10% and then less than that actually. So that is more than enough. So you don't have to know each and every object, each and every command or anything. All we need to know is what are the basic things and what all the essential things to go ahead and then implement some powerful scripts on a mastery level. That is all we need. So that's what the concept to be implanted. And then we also did what is when we are trying to execute a script, it will be adding dot slash, and we know what is that dot slash means. It's a local directory. And we were seeing why we have to name it as a .ps1, because it will be the .ps1 is the extension like an exe, which will say it is a PowerShell script, and then it is from version 1.0 till now. It will be, I mean, it is just an extension. It is nothing related to the version. So that is what we also said. And the actually, when we are trying to execute any script, this is the exact command will be, I mean, it will be like, even though we put dot slash, the current directory will be added, and if it has double quotes, I mean, leave a space or anything, it will be adding at the beginning. There will be a symbol, and then it will be go ahead and then and symbol, and then you will be able to execute it. This is what happens. So now we have, so far we've been seeing all the commandlet formats, and then objects, how to explore an object, how to use it, all those things. Now on the previous day, in the previous session, we've been seeing about what all the controls we say, right? True or false, then take this or take that, right? So what are the control flow statements? And then we started with if, and if can be this like in this format. There are three cases. One is just if the condition, if the condition is true, the following statement, I mean, whatever the block will be go ahead and execute it. And if the condition is false, and if we add else, the false, this is like false condition, I will go ahead and execute it. And also here we can have any number of else if, and I mean there is no need of else if unless until you required. But if we have else if, it's just like checking one by one. Check the first condition and the second condition, third condition, fourth condition. If any one of the condition is successful, it will exit the complete loop, and then it will continue with the next list of commands in the in the script. So that is what we have seen, and else will only execute if all these commands, if for an example, if condition is false, and else if all the else if conditions are false, finally then only the else condition will be working. Okay, so if or else if is true and executed, then it will be not executing else, it will be skipping that. And then we've seen how to get a help, how we are getting a help for a command. Similarly, we have seen how to get a a help for all these things. Just we need to add about underscore and then whatever the command we have. Let's say we tried for each, and in the for each we have tried let's say student in a classroom, and then we I was giving an example, right, how to use it. And then we also seen an example how exactly we will be trying this, and then I shared the scripts as well. And then that is for each. There is another case for each. I just don't want to confuse on the same day, so I just kept it for today. So I will be seeing the for each another case. Let's say this is same for each for case type 1. Okay, when I say case, it is just a scenario. Okay, and there is one more scenario we can use where the same for each, and the for each is just an alias for each hyphen object. Okay, we'll be seeing the second scenario today. Okay, just a second scenario, or let's say that also can be a format. Okay, for how we are actually using the for each. And we have also seen for, right? For is something we've been seeing, like how to initialize something, and then it will be continuously execute till this particular condition is successfully, I mean, till this particular condition is false. And there will be an incremental or decremental. It can be +1 or -1 or anything. And we also seen, right, like for an example, dollar I is equal to 1 or 10, and if I just put dollar plus I plus plus, and then i's value will be 11, it will automatically added. So if I put I minus minus, it will be actually just reduce 1 point from there, and then it will be 10. So that is also called unary operation. Okay, how we operators we have as equals is like assignment operator we say, right? So similarly, this plus plus or minus minus we are say using, right? That is called unary operator. Okay. Again, this is just for your information. Okay. And there is no need to I mean remember, just know this is also called unary operation. All you need to know is what is the meaning of if we put plus plus or minus minus with a variable. All right. And we have also seen two cases for this, and then with plus plus and then minus minus, and we displayed it. Now let's continue with today's session. Okay, I said there is a two case scenario, right? One is for each, and then it will take each and every object. For each does the same thing. As I said, it will take a pool of objects or a group of objects, and from there it will take each and every object, and it will perform whatever the operation in this particular curly braces. So that is what for each will be doing. And here exactly the same thing will be happening. And for each is, I'll type get hyphen alias for each, and you see the for each is just an alias for each object. So either you can use for each or for each hyphen object, they both are same. So what is the second scenario? It's like it will be going like this. The format is or syntax, let's say, is getting a list of objects and pipelining to for each hyphen object, and then for each thing we will be doing dollar underscore dot some kind of operation using dollar underscore dot, which we know. uh, does anyone remember what is dollar underscore dot means? We have seen that. uh, what does that means, right? So dollar underscore dot means a current object. So that is what will be handled, and it can be any kind of operation like, again, all these brackets we can do any kind CURD, which is create, update, read, or delete. Anything can be, or you can do all of them. Okay, for that particular object. Let's say you are taking list of Active Directory users, and then you are creating them, and then you are updating their email address, and then you are checking whether that user is created, and then finally, if it is a test user or a duplicate user, you can also delete it. So all those things can be done in this particular brackets. That is what the syntax is. Now let's see an example how it is actually done. Let's open a notepad and let's put it as for each hyphen object, to example. Okay, and how, let's again all services, and what I'm going to do is get hyphen service. And what this will do, it will get all the services and then it will go ahead and assign it to all services. Now all services, here is the thing. I'm taking the list of objects. Here it's all services. I'm pipelining. Pipe, I said, right? It will be taking each and every object and then it will pass it to the next command, which is for each object. For each object is actually meant to deal everything one by one. So this is what we are going to do, and what we are going to do, let's see one by one. Let's type write hyphen host dollar underscore dot, uh, let's say name. Okay, and since I'm going to save it. Okay, and I'm going to save for each to example dot ps1, and I save this, and I go to that particular directory cls for each 2.ex. Now what's happening, it's taking all the services and for each of them it is just printing the name. Now I just want, since we started getting into the script, let's do things more, little bit more sophisticated. uh, I know it is displaying something, but I wanted to display what is that, right? So I'm going to add something, name of the current service is this one. Then I'm gonna say background color. Why I'm doing this? Just I don't want, because I'm in a notepad. Okay, I don't want to make a spelling mistake, so I'm just typing here. I'm gonna copy and paste it. uh, Foreground color is let's say black or red. So I just take this and I'm gonna put it, okay, here. And what else I have in get service, I'm going to explore it, and so that I can try to do few other things. Get hyphen service, get hyphen member. Here this is the first time mostly we are trying this. Okay, usually I'll be just typing get hyphen member, right? So here this is the first time I'm just typing get hyphen member type, which is property. Okay, I know the property, right? So even though you don't remember it, I'm just pressing up arrow, and then I just type PRO and then press tab. Okay, it will come to two things, property and properties, and property is the right one. And then hit enter. What it will do, it will just take all the properties. Okay, only the properties instead of giving everything. Okay, here I have a lot of things, right? Method, alias, property, all those things. I don't need all of them. I just need property. So now what I'm going to see, I could see, let's say already I could see the name. Okay, service name I already put it. Okay, I change this as a service name. Okay, name as a service name, and then I'll copy paste. Instead of foreground red, I'll say white or black. What the other things I can say, service startup type. Okay, that is something we might use, right? So service startup type is this one, and finally status. So status is, I'm just copying, status is, I just save it, and I also want to, let's say, want to add something like a star sort of thing, so that it will be clearly differentiating two objects. Okay, let me try that now. Okay, now we see all of them, right? I mean, this color combination is not that good, just I wanted to make the point actually. Okay, so that we know how we can use the right hyphen host. Okay, now what all the things we are doing, we are taking the service name and the service startup type and automatic or manual, all those things. Now this is general one. Okay, that is, let's say it's gonna, let's say I'm gonna save it as, okay, with if float.ps1. This is another one, let's say. Okay, now I'm gonna add a little bit complication. What is that? If, okay, dollar underscore service and not service, status is equal to stopped. I wanted only the stopped services. Okay, I'm not interested in all the services. I wanted only the stopped services, so that I can see whether I can start or not. Now I'm again printing them all. Okay, as so that's all. So what this will do, it will take all the services, it will take them for each object, and first check the status. And if it is only equals to stopped, okay, it will go ahead and display. Now previously what is happening, everything stopped, running, everything is coming, right? Let's try whether this works or not. For each with two. Okay, it says error. Okay, and it says the error is okay. Before I troubleshoot, let me see how do you troubleshoot. What is the problem? Let me see. Anyone guess what is the problem? This is the script and this is the error. How do you first find where is the error actually? All right, so here, as I said, this symbol, right, that just above that, that is where the problem is there. So this symbol will actually show you where exactly the problem is, and it's showing the curly braces, as I said, curly braces is only meant for the block of code, not for conditions. So all the conditions should be in normal brackets, and then all the let's say all the block of codes should be in the curly braces. Now let me try that. Okay, now I'm getting it. I'm getting all the services which is stopped, right? I'm not getting running things, and I'm also getting the other information. So this is how we'll be taking some object and then use the for each, and then we'll be doing it. Now let's try to make it little bit more complicated. Okay, not complicated, just to explore the other things. So if dollar underscore dot status, sorry, not the status, let's say service name. Okay, service name hyphen like star, what, let's take any one of the service. Okay, what I'm trying to do, I'm just trying to, okay, win RM is stopped, right? Let's try to start that. Okay, uh, again, like and equals, all are operators, as you already know. Okay, I'm just trying that. Let's see whether that works or not. Okay, if the service is that particular service, okay, dollar underscore service name is WinRM, then start hyphen service dollar underscore dot service, dollar underscore dot, yeah, service. Service name, and let's write hyphen post service started WinRM service started. So now we'll see whether first it will work. So then we'll troubleshoot and fix it. Okay. Okay. Here the WinRM service is started. Okay. And let us check that services, or we can check it here right away. Get hyphen service in RM. Now the service is running, right? If I run the command one more time, okay, now it will not execute because it has already started, I think. Okay, but it will still might say, let's say, where is my RM? Okay, the first reason why the WinRM is not coming here is the first condition what we are checking is if it is only stopped, we will be coming into this block. Then only we will be checking whether the WinRM is there, and if it is stopped, I mean, then we will be starting. Since the WinRM is already started in the previous execution, now it will not be in this list, means there is no need to start it manually. So this is what we can do, and let us try one more thing. Okay, and I'm gonna add hyphen a and d, and then dollar underscore dot startup type is equals let's say automatic. Okay, I'm gonna check is there anything automatic, and it is actually stopped, and let's see whether we are getting, now we are seeing manual, disabled, everything, right? I'm just trying to filter only stopped and automatic. Okay, so I'm just hitting it, it's not giving. First I'll check whether it is actually working. Okay, how to check it? Get hyphen service where hyphen object dollar underscore dot service start. Now this, but automatic is actually working. Okay, means I just want to make sure I'm not making any spelling mistakes. So I just copy this and then I just paste it here so that I know I'm not making any spelling mistake. Now again I'm going to run again. Okay, now it's there. So that was a spelling mistake. And then here it takes all the stopped service and it is also combining one more thing. What is that? Using AND operation means display all the services which are all stopped and they are all automatic. Okay, so if any one of this condition is wrong, it will not display. If you see, all of them are automatic and all of them are stopped. So that is how we will be doing it. And then again, since WinRM is stopped, it is gonna, I mean, already started, it is not gonna start. Moreover, WinRM is manual. Okay, so let's say here, uh, good scenario actually. I'm typing get hyphen service to get the startup type. Okay, so that I can see whether it is startup type is automatic, all those things. I just first tried the command, it didn't work, and then I tried FL because I thought I will be able to get all the things. Still, I'm not able to do. So what I'm gonna do is property, okay, star, and let me try that. And now I could see startup type manual. Okay, so what the only thing I'm doing is this will happen to you all the time. Okay, make sure you understand this clearly. I tried WinRM. Okay, anything. Okay, anything. I want to get some information. I know that information is there. Startup type is definitely there, right? But when I do normal command, it didn't work. When I tried FL, I know it will give more information. Yes, it did give more information, but I did not have this one, which is the startup type. So what I'm doing is I'm adding FL property star, means it will go ahead and fetch everything. Okay, and there is one more thing, force. Let's see, check this. Okay, if anything is getting filled. Okay, sometimes if at all it is not there, it will try to go and get it from the very object level and some other WMI objects, all those things, and then it will try to get that information and display. Let's say for an example, the site is there, we are trying to get it. This is the last command we will be trying through the PowerShell to check whether it is there or not. So if it is not coming in this as well, that means there is that that particular command is not fetching, and all that particular property is not there, or that particular value is not there in that particular object. So that is how we'll be doing it. Now we going through again very quickly what is this particular script looks like. First thing is, very simply, we just take all the services and assign it to all services and pipe it to for each. And then in this I'm just putting first curly braces. Okay, this starts and it ends here. Okay, I'll put it like for each ends here. Okay, and if WinRM ends here. Okay, if WinRM ends here, and if stopped and automatic ends here. So that's why we have three brackets. Okay, and This is where this if is actually this block is completing, and this block is completing here, and this block is completing here. When we go more than one block, okay, we will be having more curly braces. And then if you are, for an example, I just take this off, okay, by mistake I didn't type it, and then I'm trying to execute it, okay, and then you will be getting an error. This for each, right, tilde sign will be there, and it will say this particular symbol means error, okay. This is where the error is, but the error shows it is here, okay, because it says for each it started here, but it did not end. What does this means is, wherever it started, within that, okay, somewhere that particular bracket did not close, okay. How it will calculate? Let's say this is 1, for just an example, okay. 1 started, and 2 started, okay, and 3 started. Now what it will do, it will consider this as a 3 closed, and it will consider this as a 2 closed. Now what it thinks is, 1 whatever we opened, okay, is not closed. That's why it says the error is here, okay. Even though we removed it intentionally from here, for in PowerShell, interpretation, it is starting 1, and then it is 2, and it is 3. 3 is ending here, and 2 is ending here, but 1 it did not end. So that is why it is giving an error, and it doesn't mean the problem is in this line. The problem is somewhere in this here. The easiest way to identify is, it will be the tilde sign will be right below the curly braces, so that you know something actually did not close properly. So all you need to do is make sure it is closed properly, and then let's try now. That's it. Okay. And if you see, I add $1, pound 1, pound 2, pound 3, all those things, right? Let's say hash, if winorum hash, all those things, but all of them, okay, will is not even touching and then not disturbing wherever I add it, okay. I'm adding in the same line, still it will be working, because whatever after the hash will be considered as a comment, and then it will not be executed. So that's it about the for each. And then we also added if. So in this script we have seen a lot of things, right? Background and if, and then add and symbol, and then checking the service based on that, stop, all those things. So from now onwards we'll be including lot of these kind of things. Instead of we just see only one concept, we'll be adding all other things, okay, so that we can slowly amend new things. So that is about the for each object. And then let's see what is the next thing. Now we were seeing about if, and then while. Now let's go to the while, okay. So while, before we do that, I'll just show the get hyphen help. Okay, I name a file called get hyphen help, so it's coming like this. So get hyphen help, or first I'll rename it, okay. How to rename? Okay, it's renamed. Good, because I need to get help very now and then, right? So I made it. Now about underscore while, and hit enter. So this is gonna give us what is while. Okay, I'll explain. Don't worry about it. This is what we want. So while, if you see, almost all of them will be having this pattern. For an example, control. You can say this as a universal pattern. Universal syntax, okay. There is a control statement. It can be if, for, while, or anything followed by a condition, and if the condition is true, it will go ahead and execute a block of script. So that is how it will be. And here we will check the while. Again, while syntax, again the same thing, while, followed by the condition in the bracket, and then curly braces, what are the list of commands. Now, what this while will do in a plain English? Let's say while, okay, I'm saying you in a plain English some command, okay, while let's say mm, number of students, or number of yeah, let's take students is greater than 0, okay, means there is at least one student in the class, okay. Number of students in classroom is greater than 0, then don't uh, end, or let's say don't close the classroom or school because people are still in it, right? Or we can also say this is fine because we want to give some kind of instruction, okay. Or we can also say some other statement. Let's say if the number of students in the classroom, okay, or in the school, let's say school, instead of classroom we will say school, okay. Number of students in the school is greater than 0, don't close the main door, main gate of school. This is what we will be saying to let's say guards or watchmen, right? This is how we will be instruction. If some people some students are still studying in the playground, playing in the playground or studying in the halls or in the classroom, all those things, don't close the main gate because people will be leaving, right? So the guards will be waiting, the watchman will be waiting, right? So that is how we will be giving the instruction, right? So let's try that, okay. Now let's try that same example so that we will see how it actually works, okay. Now there is a very similarity between for each this one, okay, where it says initialization and condition, all those things. But just as of now, I'll just let you know, okay. Now let's say hash symbol and then while example one with school, okay. What I'm saying is first thing is dollar number of students is equal to, let's say, 10, okay. And then main gate closed is by default I'm saying false because it's let's say it's a normal daytime, okay. Because the main, let's say I'll put is main gate closed, false means it is not closed. So that's the two initial thing, okay. Now what I'm doing is while, okay, number of, I'll just copy and paste, number of students is greater than 0, okay, then write hyphen host students are still playing or in school, or playing or studying in school, not closing the main gate, okay. This is again just to give a clear idea of where we will be using it, okay. Once this is done, we will be going to a technical thing. Now I write this instruction, let's say this is the instruction, and then what I'm doing is uh, let's say that is the thing, okay. And then I'll be making dollar is main close. First of all, if it is, this is what we wanted to do, right? If the number of students is greater than 0, do not close. So I'll still continue, don't close, false, okay? Is main doors closed? No. I'll be assigning false and then I'm writing this, okay? This is what happens, and here I'll be doing one more thing, okay? Here, this is where I'll be doing one more thing. Before that, I'll just execute this and I'll show how it works, okay? Let's say if, while school example 1.ps1, and let me execute it. While school ps1, what's happening here is it will never end, okay? That's the problem with while. If the condition is true and if the condition is not changing at all, it will be keep on going on, okay? So what does that means? If the number of students is 10, it will be always greater than 0. Means we will never say go ahead and close the door. Means it will be keep on, so, keep the doors open. But that is not the real scenario, right? So we are gonna a little bit change, okay? What is the change we are going to do to make? I just hit Control C so that it rendered. This is called deadlock, right? I'll put it here. If the condition never false, okay, then it will be deadlock. Means keep on executing, will never stop executing, okay? So in some time it should fail. The condition should be false. The while will execute everything after this condition because this condition is true. If the condition is always, it will never become false. Okay, let's say for some reason, then it will keep on, execute, and that will make the PowerShell to deadlock. Deadlock, what does that mean? PowerShell will keep on execute it, means you cannot type anything else, right? Means console is locked with something else. So that is how deadlock means. Sometimes the script will also get in, without even our knowledge, it will get into a deadlock. That is when the script will be hanging or it will be not responding and we have to kill the script and then do it. So while you are using while condition, make sure it is something will be coming out by some reason, okay? I will be checking that, but as of now, okay? Now how do I change it? Just I'm gonna do one thing, okay? Before I do it, I'll just add one more thing, okay? If is equal to false, okay, means if the main doors are closed is equals to false, means it is not closed, right? Then students are still playing. Else, what is the condition? Means if else means it is false, right? So false will be true and then it will be right opposite to this one. So what will happen? Students are not in the school, closing the main gate. Okay. So based on what I'm taking this call, I'm just checking is the main door closed, yes or no. If it is false, okay, if the instruction is false, don't close it, means students are still there and it is not closed. So don't worry about the variable what we are actually naming it, just try to understand. We will focus only on the concept. Now again I'm going to execute it and I'm going to see what is going to happen, okay? I hit enter, it is still gonna not gonna change anything. Reason is it will only change when the number of students is coming to 0, okay? So So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna type right hyphen host number of students currently in the school dollar number of students. Okay. Now I'm going to execute it again. I know this is not going to change anything. I just want to take it one by one so that you know what is happening. Now 10 is there. It will be 10 will be always there. Reason, we are not actually doing anything to this. We are not reducing it or doing anything. So the only way to do it, to reduce it some for in some way. Okay. So to do that, I'm just doing this one. Okay. Minus minus. Okay, what this will do, it will go ahead and whatever the number, previous number, it will go ahead and reduce by 1. Now let's see whether it is going to be in deadlock or it is going to execute. So now what is happening, it starts with 10, and this is where it starts with it. Check whether the 10 is greater than 0. True, it prints it is 10 people are there, and we are saying it is false. Okay, and then what we are doing here is main main get closed, true or false, right? We are actually making it as false. Okay, and then we are checking whether it is false or not. Okay, if it is false, it will be printing this. If it is true, it will be printing. Now this is something common. Okay, it will be just printing yes or no based on this particular one. Okay, but the only change what we are doing here is this will be reducing this 10 by 1. Means next time it will be 9 9 9 to 8, 8 to 7, and it will be keep on reducing. Some point it will be getting 0. 1 minus 1 will be 0. That is when this while loop will be executed completely and it will be exiting. Okay. Now that is the school example. Let us save and let's make a copy of it using some other real-time example. Using, let us say, get input from user dot ps1. So this is what I'm gonna do. Okay. File example, get input from user. Means I'm gonna get some user input from user. Let's say you're giving a script. Okay, this is a script you are developing and giving to a level 1 or other team members. Okay, and when you are executing the script, this is the scenario. Let's say this is what you want to achieve. Okay, objective is, let's say their daily routine is to create multiple users, hundreds and hundreds of users. Okay, and your script while loop will create users. Okay, let's say. Okay, now this while loop, once it created user, it will ask the user for input whether to continue creating another user or not. Okay, it's a question. It will get it from the user. Okay, I'm going to do it interactively. We are making, this is the first interactive thing we are making. Okay, so this will be a real case, so try to pay attention so that you know. uh, we are gonna say while loop is gonna create user. Once it created the user, it will ask for the user, do you want to create another user or not? Unless until the guy type no. Okay, n for no, let's say, and y for yes. And if he type yes, okay, it will go ahead and try to get other information, try to create again the while loop, continue. The while loop will end only when the user says no. what is this actually gonna, how this is gonna be beneficial to the user? He don't have to keep on execute the script every time, right? Because he's gonna create 100 users per day, right? So if he's gonna open the PowerShell and then try to execute it one by one every time, instead of that, if you make it that as well automatic, okay, instead of you open it and do it, the script will itself will ask him whether you want to execute it or not, yes, no. And if he type no, okay, good, he don't want to create anymore, he is done for the day, and then it will exit. And if he say yes, it will go ahead, go into the loop and then get all the information, and then it will be doing that. Okay, I mean, it will go over and create the next user and again prompt for it. Okay, now let's try that. So what's the objective here? This is the objective. And what's the beneficial? This is the one. So now again, we are going to change everything. So let's delete it and then start with dollar user input. Okay, initially we are saying it as $true. Okay, let's say this is the initial input we are, because first time we have to get into the loop, right? So initially we are setting user input is the one we are setting as input true, and then what I'm doing is while, okay, dollar user input is equals to true, it will go ahead and execute it. Okay, write hyphen host, and then let's say user input is dollar user input, and I say this, and this is where the starting point. We are not doing anything, we are not doing any of these things, we are just starting, we are just declaring this, and then we are structuring the while loop. Within that we are just printing. Now if you see, we are declaring it, but no, nowhere we are actually changing it. Okay, we are just printing it. So let's go ahead and try that, and we know it is going to be a deadlock because nothing is actually changed in that particular one. So it will be keep on going on. So this is again a deadlock. So the point is, unless until we are making, we know this is going to be false sometime, or we are doing intentionally, be very careful while you are using input. I mean, while. Okay, that's the thing. Uh, now what I'm going to do is, okay. Mm, okay. Here is the command. This is the command which will be how we have write hyphen host, right? Which will writing something output, right? This is the output. Similarly, read hyphen host will read something. It will wait for you to get some output. I mean input from us. Let's say I type yes and hit enter. It will print it and it will come out. Let's say I'm gonna assign it to user input, and then I'm gonna do it, hit enter, and then I just type yes, it will get out of it, and then the user input I type, it will be yes. Now I'm gonna make it a little bit more prompt. Okay, this is something kind of here it is not giving anything, right? So what it is gonna say, let's say, do you want to create another new user or not. Is it prompting now while comparing to? That's the exact thing. This will make it more interactive and then more readable and then usable, right? Now I type instead of type yes, I'm typing yes, let's say. Okay. Now it's coming out because I'm not doing anything with the user input. I'm just gonna print it again. Okay, good. Now I'm gonna do that again. Type no, and then I'm gonna print. Now it's no. Now I'm gonna just add one more thing. Okay, type Y for yes, N for no, and hit enter. Now it says type Y or no. I just, let's say I type Y and hit enter. Now the user input is Y, and if I try one more time, if I type N, it will be, the user input will be no. So for the others, it will look very actually appealing actually. Okay, because this is something everyone wants, right? A script which will be actually getting the user's input. Based on that, it is going to do that. So that is what we are going to do it. Okay, so let us copy the same thing, and then we are going to use it within this. Okay, here again, just to make sure that there is no spelling mistake, I just copy and paste it so that this is the user input. Okay, now what I'm saying here is, okay, if user input is equals to Y, or let's say just yes, okay, then what will happen? He wants to create, right? So user wants more. You want to create another user, he types yes, he wants more, right? Means what we are saying, user input is equal to true. Okay, even though he says types yes, we are changing it as a true, and we are checking one more. If it is not yes, okay, anything else, let's say else, then he didn't type yes, let's say. Okay, then this is something user don't want more. Now user input is false. Okay, and let us print it. So that the reason why I'm using print everywhere is we know where exactly the script is going. Okay, whether it is actually getting into this particular block or not. That only easiest way is to print it so that we know it is doing something. Okay, so I copy and paste it, and then I save it, and let's try here. While input form, okay, it's asking user input true, that is fine. Okay, do you want to create a user, yes or no? I type yes, yes, and it's asking me again. I'm typing yes. It's asking me again. I'm typing yes. And for some reason, I'm done with my job. I type no. It's done. User don't want anymore, and it comes out. Is it cool? Does that is what the script, and this will look very attractive as well as very appealing. I just want to make this script a little bit more interactive and then more usable. Okay, the first thing is we take this user input, and then we are actually getting the user. We are prompting, do you want to create another user or some, and then we say type yes, Y, and no, and then what is happening is we are typing yes. Okay, and let's execute it again, and I'll show what all the flaw it has. Okay, let's say I say y to continue, right? I just type y and it will be saying you don't want to create anymore, and then it's coming out. Okay. So now reason is I'm taking a user input, I'm comparing only with yes. So the other option is I'm gonna do is hyphen or. This is where the or is coming. Okay. All I'm doing is I'm copying this and then pasting it here. Instead of y, I just make it as yes, I just make it as y. And I save it and then I'm now running it and I just press y and hit enter. It is going to the next one. I hit enter, going to the next one. I hit no, it's coming out, right? Now that's made the flaw work, right? Why and then all those things. Sometimes I want to make it very, let's say it's very critical. I want to make sure it is case sensitive. Okay, this is how we make it as case sensitive. Okay, C equals to case sensitive. For example, let's say dollar name is Jagdish, and then if I type name is equal to JG, it is true. Now let's say I type C, that is case sensitive. It will check whether it is case sensitive also and check whether it is equal, it is not. So that is how we are going to do it. Again, my intention is already done. I'm just showing what all the other possibilities are there to add more security. Okay, I'm just adding, it should be either capital S or capital Y. Now again I'm trying the same script. Now I'm just, let's say I'm typing small y. It will say you don't want anymore because it should be capital. Then I type y and it will be continue. Y, I just type small yes, it will coming out because I want to make it more secure. Either you should type y or all capital in yes. And if I just type half of it, that will also come out of it. So that is all we need. Okay. And now what is happening? If anything, if the user type y or this one, it will work. But this is just to give you how to make it case sensitive, and then I'm just removing it so that that is not required actually. Or let's say I'll make one case sensitive, another one is not case sensitive. So so that I can share this and then you can use it. Okay, and that is about while loop, and then that is how we'll be using. And now let's save us and then have another one. Okay, this is to check a service, check service status dot ps1. Okay, objective here, while loop, check a particular service. Okay, or let's say while loop, get the service name and check the particular service, uh, let's say status. If the service is running, okay, continue, check the CPU and report the report or write the CPU report. If the service is stopped, stop the while loop and exit. Okay, so basically what I'm doing is what is the benefit out of it? I'm setting a a particular while loop. Okay, and that will actually go ahead and check a particular service, let's say not a service, process. Okay, particular process, whether it is running or not. If the process is there, It will check the CPU and write the CPU. If the process is stopped or not there, it will be stop the loop and then it will execute. So what it is gonna do? It is gonna keep updating me with CPU utilization of a particular process. Now, just to make this interesting, okay, I'm just taking this, okay, and then I'm putting it in the first line. Okay, this is the not mandatory, okay, just to make it more interesting. Here, I'm typing in the prompt, type the process name, okay, and then user input is there, and then it is while loop is taking. Okay, before that, let's say I put it inside. Okay, user input as in the previous example, we start the user input as a true, because so that it will start. Okay, if it is false, the first step itself it will not go in, so that's the reason we are making it as a true. So it is first is true, and then it will go, and then it will check. Okay, let's say this as a service name, or sorry, I keep making the mistake, process name. Okay, I get the process name, and then what I'm doing is right, checking the process name. And what is the process name? This one. Okay, and how we check? Let's say result. Okay, get hyphen process star process name star. Now I'm gonna write again process status, or yeah, status, let's say. Okay, this is dollar result dot. Before I go ahead and do this, I'll just show you what does this means. Okay, let's say get hyphen process. I'll do it. Okay, let's take any one of it. Let's say calculator. Okay, and then I'm putting dollar this one. Okay, process name, and then what I'm typing is calculator, and hit enter. Now I'm checking the process name, and it is what is happening. This actually take my input, and that's a calculator. Now what is the next thing I'm doing? I'm getting this particular, whether it is there or not. Okay, I'm just, in spite of I execute everything, I just want to show you so that you will not get confused. Now I'm putting this star and star so that anything with the calculator it will be displaying, and get hyphen process it's displaying, and I'm assigning to the result. And what will happen? This result will be assigned to assigned to a result. Now if I type result dot or result, okay, now this is what, right now what I'm checking is result get hyphen member. I want to check whether it is running or not. So let me check. I'm checking the property. Okay, 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 the CPU is more than enough. So let's say result dot CPU is the CPU. Okay, so I'm taking the CPU, that is what I want to print, right? So process dollar process name, that particular process name. Okay, CPU utilization is result dot CPU. That is the this one. Okay, and I'm just taking everything here, whatever it is here, right? I'm just removing it here. Okay, so what is happening? First thing, it comes in, it's get a process name, and then from the read host, and it is getting the process name and it is getting the result, and then it is typing the CPU result. Now what it is going to do again, it will be going back again, user input is equal to true, right? So what I'm going to do here, right? Mm, let us say, in spite of user input, we are going to change this as um, CPU. Okay, CPU utilization is greater than 0. So this means I'm gonna define this. Okay, CPU utilization is something I'm gonna say. Initially it is 1. Okay, so first time it will go and it will get a process name and it will check whether the CPU utilization, and then the result CPU utilization, this will be the CPU utilization, right? So will be CPU utilization is equal to this one. Now, whatever the CPU utilization here, right, it will be assigned and then it will check again. Okay, here. I'll take both of these things. Let it be, I'll run it. Okay, let's see how it goes. While check service status, right? Let's say. Okay, what is the service calculator? Okay, it printed. Okay, calculator. Now I don't want calculator, let's say notepad. Notepad, there are two notepad and it is printing. Let's say I don't want that, let's say I want PowerShell. So you see how cool is that, right? So I can type any kind of service, or I named it wrongly, but any kind of process, and then it will be go ahead and check the CPU utilization, and then it will keep on giving me. Okay, let's say I'm typing something that is not here. Let's say XYZ, it will check the CPU utilization, it is not there, and it will exit the process. Okay, so that's how, I mean, how cool we can use while, and then how real time we can use. Okay, this can also be, used to check, let's say you're trying to restart a machine. Okay, and then in the while loop, you can put I'll just put it here, let's say test hyphen connectivity. Okay, connection, and then computer name. Okay, and you will be putting something, let's say the Big Bang is my computer name, and it is checking. You see, it is actually nothing but a ping. Okay, and then I'm getting a result as um, ping result, let's say. Ping result, and then what I wanted to check is okay, let us try this. Okay, status code, right? I'm taking the status code. Okay, now let's do one thing, ping result. Okay, and then I'm gonna test something called this is not my computer name. I'm hit enter. test result. Okay. Now I'm gonna check the test result. Test result, and then it is 0, right? I'll be just simply using one more. Again, I'm just showing you. Okay, when I type something and invalid, this is my computer name. Okay, if it is getting confused, I'll just make it again. First thing, okay, host name is my computer name is this. Okay, and what is the first command doing? I'm doing a ping result. Okay, now it's gonna ping, and then it is giving. Now I'm checking the ping result, and the simple way to check whether it is valid or not is ping result.count is 4. Okay, now let's say another one. This is the test result and the wrong name. IP address is wrong, or let's say it is not reachable by basically. Okay, now I'm try testing it. Okay, let's say it's gonna ping. It is pinging. Actually, it is not getting any response, so that the result will be 0 actually. Here the result is 4, right? Similarly, let's test result dot count is 0, correct? So this is the difference between a success and failure. Okay. So this can also be done. Okay, let us say save as remote ping.ps1 and save it. Use while loop to check remote connection. Usually, let's say when we are restarting a machine, we will be checking it. Okay, we will be keep on checking, right? Let's say we are restarting a machine. What we will be doing, we will be putting ping whatever the machine. Okay, and then we will be keep on pinging it, or we will be just put a ping. Let's say IT Big Bang hyphen T. Okay, it will keep on pinging, right? So this will be happening, right? So how to emulate the same thing in PowerShell? This is something manually we are doing it. In spite of that, this is how we will be doing it. Okay, let us say CLS. This is the first thing. Okay, first ping. Okay, and this is the result. And while the ping result is greater than 0, means ping we are getting some result. The computer is not shut down yet. Okay, so what I will be doing is, and again I'll be pinging it. Okay, and what I'm doing here is writing it again, saying dollar or remote computer is not turned off yet. Okay, and then it will be again pinging it the same thing, and then it will say let's say pinging again to check. Okay, and when this is all done, this will keep on doing checking, and once when at some point of time the result will be 0, and then it will come out, and then here it will be saying the remote computer is turned off now, because the result is 0 means that is turned off. Let's try it now. Okay, let us say okay, while remote ping it's actually pinging, so you will not see. Okay, now IT Big Bang we are putting here, and then it is giving an error. Okay, this is something related to let us say something related to my WMI and then ports and all those things. Okay, so the result, the thing is, this is how we will be doing it. Okay, and if we just copy and then try it in your own machine with another, I mean, this is an individual machine, right? And there is no it's trying to connect to another machine using WMI and check all those things, right? So that is all not required. So this will be the way we will be using while loop. Okay, so we tried while loop with a user input, and then made it as a case sensitive or not case sensitive, and then while loop using ping result whether the remote machine is there or not. Okay, the simple or mostly, okay, I think it is actually trying to resolve it from the name. Let's try this. Okay, I just try to put it in double quotes. It's still okay. Let me try this here. Okay, and the ping result is pinging. Okay. So again, as I said, it's related to WinRM, all those things, but this is how it will be working. Okay, you can try this. Maybe you can take this as an assignment. Try this in your machine. Okay, not in your local machine. Maybe if you are in office, this is just gonna ping, right? So make sure this machine is something fully qualified name. Okay, FQDN of a name or an IP address. Okay, IP address, you can use any one of them, and then try it, and then you can give me the result. You can take that as an assignment and let me know so that we can see how we can make it work. This is something usually we will be using in a real live time, right? So that's the today's assignment, and let's see how it goes. Now, what all the other things we are going to see? We have seen while, right? Okay, while and do while and do until, almost you can say the same family. Okay, the exact same family. Okay, and then we are gonna prove it one by one. Okay, let us open the help and then first find out the format, get hyphen help about do while. Okay, here is it. Let's try this. Here we go. So do help, I mean, when we are typing only do, it is giving both the options, both the options of until, do one, do while, as well as do until. Okay, so now let's try both of them here. As I said, I'll be comparing all three of them one by one, but you see what is exactly going to happen. Okay, we are going to open the previous exact command, and we are just going to do only one change so that you can easily understand. Now here, while, okay, first checks the condition, okay, and then it will go ahead and execute. Means while acts like gatekeeper, okay, and then it will only if the condition is true for first time itself, okay, then it will execute. So that's the reason, let's say open input from user, right? You see the first we are making the user input true intentionally. Okay, that is the reason why we are doing it, because while loop will act as a gatekeeper, means this will not work, this will not even work one time unless until the first time itself it should be true. That's why we are to make it first time true, we are making it as a, like, to allow the gatekeeper, we are just making as true, and once it go inside it will do all those check, and then it will again change in the user input, all those things. Now I'm gonna do save as, in spite of while I'm gonna make it as do while. Okay, dot ps1. So here what is the difference here is, do while don't act like a gatekeeper for the first time. Okay, for the first time, let's say. Okay, for the first time means you don't need the first key. First time you don't need a key, like we are specifically mentioning here, right? Let's say this is a key. Okay, to get into the loop for the first time, you don't need this key. Do means we know, right? Do something and then go ahead and check the condition, right? Not check the condition and go ahead and do. Okay, so this is how to easily put that. Check the condition, then do something. Okay, but here this is the only difference, just it changes. Do something, then check the condition and repeat, and this will also do the same thing. It will keep on repeating, this will also keep on repeating. Okay, and now we'll see how is that. Now I'm taking this user input. Okay, I'm gonna execute it now. Let's see, if I take the key off and not changing anything, let's say while or do while or anything, I'm keeping this as a while loop itself. Now what's the do while get input, right? Do while get input, and then I hit enter. It's not even getting into it. We are not even going inside, because the first time it will check this particular condition, it is false, and because we did not declare it as a true, and by default it is false, and then it is go ahead and then it will not even execute for the first time. So in this scenario what I'm doing is I cut this and make it do, and finally, okay, sorry, I'll cut the entire thing. Okay, get the complete checking condition. Here I put do, at the end, okay, I'm putting the while, and save this. Now I'm going to execute. Now what is happening, without even I declare for the first time, it's getting into it, it is doing something for the first time. Okay, it's kind of a free pass for the first time, and then it will do some operation, then it will check the condition. If the condition is true, it will repeat, if not it will execute. Now let's say yes and hit enter. Yes, okay, I type yes, okay, and let's type a small y, it will be coming out because we made it as a case sensitive, right? So that's the main difference, and that is the only difference. Okay, all I'm doing is just taking the while condition, instead of putting in the first before the bracket, I'm putting after the bracket, and before the bracket I'm saying do. Means go ahead and execute this first, then check this and then repeat it. Okay, and it will keep on repeating till this is true, and when this is getting false, this condition is getting false, it will come out. Or the while loop is here, if it is getting false it will come out, right? Similarly, nothing else changing. So basically whenever the condition is true only it will execute it, but here it needs first time itself it will check and then it will go, but here it doesn't need it, it will do something and it will check. So by saying both of them, now we know, right? what does the do until means? Again, the plain English. Do until, okay. Don't need a gatekeeper for the first time, okay. And only if the condition is, I execute this and I'll show you, okay. Now what I'm doing is here, this script, right? I'm doing only one change, okay. Instead of while, I'm just changing until, okay. And I'm going to save it as do until dot ps1. Now let me try it and do until and then hit enter, okay. I'm typing yes, okay, yes, and then hit enter, it's coming out, okay. Maybe I'll try, I'm checking here, okay. Is yes case sensitive? No. Okay. But why it's coming out? I'm not sure. I'll tell you. But check what are all the things I'm checking. Okay. I tried yes. I'm typing full case sensitive. Still it is coming out. Okay. And then I'm trying just y. Still coming out. And I type small case. Still coming out. Okay. Now I'm gonna remove this so that it will be easier, because this will be confusing for you, okay. So now what all the things fail? If I type yes, it is still coming out. If I type y, it is still coming out. So that's the whole point, okay. So while will execute only if this particular condition is true, okay. And until will execute only if the condition should be false, okay. And my recommendation is, do not use this at all. This will be nothing, okay. It is very similar. This will execute in true condition, this will execute in false condition, okay. I'll execute now. Do while, do until, right, hit enter. I type no, it will go. I type anything, it will keep on going, because none of them is meeting this particular yes or y, okay. If I just type yes y, okay, y or y, yes, it will come out, because this, when this condition is false, it will come out, okay. If this condition is true, basically if what the while and do while will do is, if this true, it will go on and execute, and until, if it is true, it will come out, okay. So it should be false to go ahead. So I know this will be confusing, so I usually suggest, do not at all use this at all, okay. This is something Microsoft trying to make you help, and trying to get, this is something available in all the programming language, okay. But it is just trying to help you, but you will be getting confused if you are in the initial time, if you are trying to mix all of them. So not recommended as of now, okay. Only go with these two, and this is something we know so far. That is how we are universally seeing, right? I said right. Universal syntax is some control statement, and if the condition is true, it will go ahead and block, right. And this is the only one. If the condition is false only, it will go ahead and execute. So do not use at all. Just I want to show you, so that I just show you, okay. Because there is something called until. Don't use it, okay. And it will give the all three can be achieved using, whatever you are trying to achieve using while loop can be achieved using the same do while loop, and then until, do until, all three can achieve the same result, desired result, okay, based Okay, there is no change at all three will give the same exact desired input, I mean input, and if you give the same input and it will be the desired output, exact output. So there is nothing missing feature or anything, it is just the way we use it. Okay, so that is the while, do while, until, and let's see break and continue. So what is break and continue? Let's type difference between break and continue is, let's say we were seeing all about control flow, right? This is all about controlling the flow. What is the flow? Execution of one script to another script. I mean, one command to another command, right? So I want to control. Let's say I wanted to break. Okay, I want to stop execution of something in a middle. Okay, let us type something. Okay, let us say save this, open a new one. Okay, and let's say open a for loop, or before we can start, let's say write hyphen host one. Okay, two, three, and I save it as break example dot ps1. We didn't do anything, we are going to do it, but as of now let's first execute this and break, and it is printing. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to type break, and let's see what's happening. You see the clear point, right? If we type break, it will just skip the rest of the thing, and then it will come out of it. Okay, so why do we need it? Let's say you are running a huge script. Okay, and the script is to check some kind of or get some kind of result, and you will be having lot of backup things to do. Let's say you are checking a service, and then if the service is running, you will be doing something, and then you will be doing troubleshooting everything. Okay, let's say you are for an example. Okay, I'll type here. Okay, for an example. Okay, break. Okay, you are troubleshooting a service which is stopped. You'll be keep on doing troubleshooting a b c d e f. You have a lot of things to do, right? You put everything in here. Okay, and in all these things, after doing a, you will be checking the condition. Check the service is started or not. If it is started, break means you don't need any other troubleshooting steps, right? And similarly, if it is not started, you will be again doing the troubleshooting B. Again, you will check. If it is not started, good. You are done with your troubleshooting. There is no more troubleshooting required, right? And then you will be checking, doing the third troubleshooting. Okay. And then you will check if it is okay, good. Break it and then come out of it similarly. Okay. So that's the whole point. So that is again an example. That is how you will be actually using the break. So break will actually stop and then will not do anything, and then let's try one more. Okay, after 4 or 5 lines, I'm just typing the last line, and again I'm gonna execute it here. Whatever it is, okay, at the even though 1 line or 2 line, whatever it is, the rest of the things will be break, and it will not do anything. Okay, so that's the thing, and let us say, okay, I'm gonna save it as continue example. Okay, let's do for. Okay, or let's say dollar I count is equal to 10, while dollar count is less than 10. Okay, what I'm doing is write hyphen host count. Okay, and if I'm adding one, I'll first execute this. Okay, continue, and let's say one. It's less than one, and then what I'm doing here, dollar count plus plus, so that it will keep increase, and some point it will come out. So it's one is declared, and then checking whether it is less than 10, and then it is going to increase, and then printing, it will keep on print. Some point of time it is more than, I mean 10 will be coming to 11, and then it is not less than 10, right? The count is not less than 10, and it will come out. Now this is the regular thing. Okay, for some reason, okay, I wanted to check in the middle. Okay, if count hyphen is equals to 5. Okay, right host equals to 5, breaking, break, and let's try it now. What's happening? It's going till 5, and as we know, break will actually break, right? And then it is doing it. Okay, it is breaking. And let's say here I'm printing right hyphen host current value of count after checking 5 is dollar count. Okay. Now again, I'm just adding one more thing. I just wanted to check whether is this getting executed or not. Okay, I'm running it. One, it is checking it. It is not equal. Break is not executing. This is printing. Okay. Again, it is printing 2, and 2 is printing, 3 is printing, 4 is printing, 5 is also printing, but it is actually equals to 5, and it is breaking and not executing, right? Now let us, in spite of break, okay, let us say continue, and let's try to execute. What it's happening, it just continues, okay, in spite of a break. Okay, here when this 5 is executed, what this continue will do is it will just skip the rest of the script. Okay, block of scripts, from where this is where the rest of the script is. Rest of the script just next line. Okay, here is rest of the script is starting here, and rest of the script is actually ending. I mean, when I say rest of the script block, that is about this while loop. Okay, block is starting here, and then the rest of the block is stopping here. Now I'm executing it as keep on running, right? What is happening is when this continue happens, it will skip all these things. Okay, and it will go to the while loop again. Okay, so what will happen, it will check whether the 5 is less than 10. It is true, and again it will check whether it is equals true, and then again it will continue, means this block will never execute at all, because this continue will skip the rest of the block in this particular script. I mean this particular, okay, here. Now let's say write hyphen host. Okay, let us type test. That will not also not be doing anything. So basically this will be the one. Continue will be break, will be breaking this complete one. Continue will not break and then get out of it. It will just break this particular rest of this block, and then it will continue here. It will keep on executed. Okay, and we will see some other real-time examples where we will be using in while we are actually start using it. Okay, so as of now, break is something while we will be using to check something, some status or something or value, then exit the complete script. Okay, and continue, check something, and then it will exit, or it will not exit. Instead of that, it will just skip the complete rest of the block. Okay, the loop. Okay, the loop. That is what the only difference is. I'll put it next to this. That's it. Okay. So that's all about all these conditions. Okay. We also have something called exit. That is something we'll be seeing right away. Okay. Let's say we have something called exit. Okay, just add exit just in the second line. I save it and then I'm gonna run it. And then what is happening? I'll just to show you it is actually executing. Its exit will actually come completely exit out of the complete thing. Okay, exit will terminate. In other words, if the right word is, it will not check anything. I mean, if you want, you can check the value, then terminate the complete script. Nothing will be executed. Okay. Now, what's the difference between break and exit? I'll show you. Exit is not executing anything, and then break, I'm introducing break, then I'm stopping continue and then executing this. Okay, you see the break will only break the loop. Okay, complete script block or the loop. Okay, which is the while loop or for loop or anything. Okay, but this is continue and break is something related to loop. Okay, continue will just skip the rest of the block and then it will keep on looping. The break will stop and exit from the complete loop. Okay, but this exit is actual command will completely come out of the script. Okay, nothing will be executed not related to loops. Okay, these continue and break are related to loops. You see this test is printing even though the break is happening. So the thing is, break will break only the loop from which loop it is actually running, right? Only from this loop it will break and then it will continue the rest of the thing. Exit will actually exit from the complete thing and then it will be actually stopping the entire script. So exit is equals to terminate. Continue and break are meant to skip or continue with a block of script or in a particular loop. Okay, so that's the whole thing, and let's end the session today, and tomorrow we'll continue with the other things. Okay, and we'll see how it goes. And before that, I just quickly recap what all the things we have seen today. We have seen exit, continue, break, do, do while, and then do until, and then while loop, and then we tried with read hyphen host. We also seen read hyphen host. That is a very good and useful thing. And then what is the universal syntax, and that, and I asked you to not to use this until. Okay, all those things we have seen it. And we also seen for each the second scenario. This is very very important because this will be used in lot of upcoming scenarios. Okay, so that's all today's session, and then we'll end now. Thanks for your time, and then we'll see in the next session. Thank you.